You see, I stand hope. The seat taken? Are you telling me how to do my job?
Phil, thank you so much for your time for this interview. And tell me, before you went into producing Vera, how much did you know about Anna's novel?
Well, I had, because my background is that I joined the show in season 7, so just after the one that you're about to get access to. So I'd sort of, I was going to say secretly been a Vera fan, but I was very openly a Vera fan. I had read half of Anne's novels, I think, and watched the seasons that had led up to the point I joined the show. And then when it became clear that there might be an opportunity for me to work on the show, I read the rest. So yeah, I knew them very well actually, because I'd experienced them first as the show, and then I'd come to the books afterwards. So yeah, it was part of I felt it was part of the preparation to certainly read up on her back catalogue, especially before I met Anne and before I met Brenda. And it was a real joy to sort of see the comparison between the novels and the adaptations that I'd gone before. So I guess you could say I knew it pretty well.
Perfect. So how do you say the crimes that would happen in each episode, and what's the most complicated part of making Vera?
Well, largely most of the episodes now are off book. They're not adaptations. When we have got a book to adapt, like for example Mothcatcher, which you're about to get access to, which is episode 3 in series 6. The book obviously provides already a crime, a framework for an episode, so that's a nice head start. And it's if you're adapting something, we want to be loyal to the story. I do try and make some changes so that the viewers get a bit of a treat and a bit of a surprise, because if it was a direct adaptation, you wouldn't have that. So that gives us a bit of a roadmap for an episode, and obviously it's a joy to be able to adapt Anne's work and use her characters. If it's an original, which many of them are, I invite writers to pitch a story, which is, I want to know who died, why they died, who killed them, a locale in terms of what's their life like, where did they live, where did they come from in the region, and ultimately just to kind of get a sense of what kind of story they want to tell. And then once I've kind of vetted that idea, we roll that out to a treatment or a storyline, and I really front load that process. I spend about 3 or 4 months working on the treatment before we go to script, which is very different to the way Anne writes her novels. She famously says that she doesn't always know where the ending is going to take her. So we do it differently. But yeah, I think the challenge is really crafting these stories so that they can sustain that that 2-hour slot, that 90 minutes of drama, and without cheating the audience. You've got to feel that.
Vera is a most popular series mystery in Europe in Acorn TV. So do you have any theory why Vera is one of the British public's favorite series?
Brenda's a big part of that. I mean, she's wonderful, and I mean, it's amazing to work with such a gifted actor, and I sometimes have to pinch myself to remind myself that I do work with somebody so great. I don't believe it myself some days, but yes, I think she's a big part of it. I mean, I think the world is obsessed with crime shows, so it's a great genre to be operating in and creating. We've mentioned some of the things that are quite unique about Vera already. We've got a female protagonist of an age. She's very straight talking. She's very bold. She's incredibly intelligent. She's not scared of very much. And I think a lot of us wish we were like that more, perhaps, and she cares. She doesn't get intimidated by any of the horrible people she encounters. She's got heart, and she ultimately cares about restoring a bit of balance to people's lives and getting closure for people who've sustained a loss.
If you could do a Mexican version of Vera, which Latino actors would you like to work with?
Oh my gosh, that is That is a very, very good question. I'm already excited about what that would look like. That Latino version of Vera. Gosh, who would you choose?
I don't know.
Who would be your Vera? Because
Isa Gonzalez.
It's not my job to make people happy, Pet.